According to the draft law submitted to the State Duma, Russia wants to place new military bases in Belarus. This initiative will be implemented as part of the document signed by Putin and Lukashenko on December 6, 2024, during a meeting of the Supreme State Council in Minsk. The agreement will last for 10 years. The document also mentions the possibility of using nuclear weapons.
Russian nuclear weapons may be used in response to the use of conventional weapons against Russia or Belarus, which create a threat to sovereignty, according to the Security Guarantees Agreement within the Union State, from a Sputnik Belarus Telegram channel.
According to the media, the document also includes a provision about the potential deployment of Belarus citizens to fight in a war against Ukraine, quoted as to protect the territorial integrity of Russia. President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelenskyy, is certain that Putin not only does not plan to stop the war against Ukraine, but will also try to drag Belarus into it.
You will see it in the spring, in the summer. He will deploy forces on Belarusian territory, and many Europeans, maybe even the United States, will say it's intimidation. It's intimidation of Poland, Lithuania, and other Baltic partners. But you'll see he will do everything to involve them. He will think of ways to provoke them. I don't know if there will be an invasion, but in any case, this will drag Belarus into the war.
Belarus is ready de facto participating in Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. In February 2022, Minsk allowed the use of its military infrastructure and airspace for the Russian army's invasion and the shelling of peaceful Ukrainian cities. In January this year, Lukashenko announced the deployment of so-called Russian Oreshnik installation on Belarus territory. Meanwhile, Russia continues to conduct drills on the covert launch of intercontinental ballistic missiles Yars in the Volga region.
During maneuvering actions, units are practicing tasks of dispersing in the forest area to enhance the stealth of the mobile ground-based missile system Yars. These planned activities allow for testing the readiness of personnel, as well as weaponry and military equipment for long-term duty on combat patrol routes. Ministry of Defense of Russia on Telegram.
The full-scale Russian invasion in 2022 would not have happened if Ukraine had not abandoned its nuclear arsenal under the Budapest Memorandum, said President Volodymyr Zelenskyy in an interview with British journalist Piers Morgan. That's why Zelenskyy believes nuclear weapons could become a security guarantee for Ukraine as an alternative to join NATO.
If NATO, not today, but in some future perspective, then the whole process of moving toward NATO, no matter how long it takes, unfortunately does not depend on us. If this process drags on for years or even decades, not because of us but because of our partners, then we have an absolutely fair question. What will protect us from this evil during all this time or throughout this entire path? What kind of support package will we get? What missiles? Will they return nuclear weapons to us? Let them return nuclear weapons to us. Or will they give us a package of long-range missiles in such quantities that we can stop Russia? I am not sure about this, although it would definitely help. On the other hand, what missiles can stop Russia's nuclear missiles? That's a rhetorical question.
The full-scale Russian invasion of Ukraine is the result of violating international obligations and disregarding global security principles, emphasized the President of Ukraine, reported by Alexandra Zaslavets, Yulia Hranovskaya, UATV News.
On Monday, December 16th, EU foreign ministers will meet in Brussels and are expected to approve sanctions against Russia for hybrid attacks in Europe, reports Bloomberg. These measures will target Russian intelligence operatives, officials and media owners.
The bloc is also proposing further sanctions on Belarus, including on about 24 individuals accused of human rights violations or benefiting materially from their relationship with the government of President Alexander Lukashenko. EU foreign ministers aim to approve the package when they meet Monday in Brussels, ahead of elections scheduled to take place next month in Belarus, from the Bloomberg publication.
This year, there were 500 suspicious incidents in Europe. Up to 100 of them can be attributed to Russia, hybrid attacks, espionage, influence operations. We need to send a strong signal to Moscow that this won't be tolerated, and we can see also a price in the frequency of those attacks, so it is very dangerous. So this is my message for today. We have to continue to contain Russia.
The sanctions list could include 16 individuals and 3 entities. The UK government has warned that Russia is leveraging artificial intelligence to intensify cyberattacks on critical infrastructure. Meanwhile, Germany's defense ministry suspects that the severing of 2 undersea fiber optic cables in the Baltic Sea in November was the work of Russian intelligence. Evidence of Russian interference in elections has been confirmed by law enforcement agencies in Moldova and Romania, illustrating Moscow's broader destabilization efforts in Europe.
We are not naive. Our elections and digital lives are increasingly targeted by hybrid digital attacks from Russia. These attacks come from both state actors and individuals acting on behalf of the Russian government. Europe must enhance its monitoring and defense in the digital sphere. In France, we have begun addressing this challenge, and it is one we must tackle collectively across Europe.
In Lithuania, authorities have concluded a pre-trial investigation into a member of the Homeland Union Lithuanian Christian Democrats Party, accused of spying for Russia. The suspect was gathering and passing information to Russian intelligence services. According to Arturas Urbelis, chief prosecutor of the Department for the Investigation of Organized Crime and Corruption. In the Netherlands, a Russian engineer has been accused of stealing technological secrets from a microchip manufacturing company and has been banned from the country for 20 years.
We are being faced with cyber attacks. We are suddenly finding parcels with explosive materials which are supposed to go on our airplanes. And we are faced especially with our Eastern European partners like the Baltic countries, Poland, our big neighbor from German side, directly at the border to Ukraine, that obviously Putin tries to divide Europe and tries to push Europe in the corner by a huge refugee flow. But playing with fear was a recipe which Putin used already before February 24th. And we did the big mistakes that we underestimated that. We have learned since 1,000 days that the best protection of our European peace is to support Ukraine in its self-defense until Putin stops this horrible war.
Amid increased reports of Russian hybrid attacks, Western law enforcement has also documented a rise in subversive activities by Chinese agents. The Wall Street Journal notes that Chinese intelligence operations now surpass the scale of the KGB during the Cold War, involving cyberattacks as well as scientific and industrial espionage. Reported by Katerina Bastun, Larisa Petruk, UATV News.